Well, good morning, YouTube, and welcome to a soggy Saturday morning here. Yeah, the rain started just before opening. I got caught in. I was out running errands on the Street King and got caught at the gas station right when it downpoured. So I just went and got a cup of coffee, hung out for a little while. But yeah, there's, very few motorcycles here, not much of a turnout. And looking at the radar, doesn't look like it's going to be a good morning. Afternoon may have some possibilities, who knows? But at this point, we are not counting our chickens till they hatch, for sure. But this may be a good test for the breezy rider, because now it's been sitting out in the rain for an hour and a half or 2 hours. We'll see how it feels in a little while, because it's supposed to wake that water away. We'll have to check it out and see. Alrighty, it is a little after 10 a.m. now. We got our first motorcycle in. We're going to do an oil change on it. And actually, we would have done it earlier, but Joey was working on the bike across the street over there, and he just got finished, so we're next. All right, guys, so we got this Covington's bike done now. We've got a few motorcycles pulling in. Maybe there's a chance the rain let up long enough. We just might get some business.
Hi, Beautimus.
All right, since we don't really have much business, Paul from the Fairing Xchange was across the way looking at my bent back fender, and it was driving him nuts. So he came over and basically knocked on the door and said, "Hey, can I fix your fender?" So yeah, so he's
make it better.
Yeah, we're gonna make it better.
Right.
So yeah, so we've pulled out the bracket underneath because it was bent as well. So now he's trying to do the best he can at straightening the fender out, using a couple of wooden hammer handles and just tweaking it. He's the body guy, I'm not. And Alan is running out to the Harley dealer to see if he can get the new bracket that we've had, because it's bent so much that even if we try to straighten it, the likelihood of getting all the holes to line up right would be challenging. Might be better just to buy the new bracket if they have it in stock. If not, we'll do what we got to do. All right, guys, about 12:15, and yeah, some bikes showed up, but now the rain came back. Looks like this was gonna last a little while. It's a damn shame, because even our bartenders got clothes on.
Welcome to Thunder Beach.
Do you have any socials or anything you want? Do you have any socials or anything you want to shout out?
Oh, Walton.la, Instagram, and law_models.
Sounds good. right, guys, we finally got our second bike in on service. Chip's getting ready to get started on it. The rain has stopped again, but still not a big turnout here. Could definitely be better. Paul was able to get my fender pulled back out so it's straight. Obviously, there's still some wrinkles in it. It is not perfect, but it definitely looks better than it did. There's a couple blemishes down there on the bottom. Thinking that, you know, for right now, we may just put like an Amsoil sticker or something over it until we get the new fender for it. But it looks better than it did. Well, because it's so slow, I think maybe I'm gonna start my handlebar project. Probably not gonna film all of it, maybe a few steps, because you guys saw me do the handlebar project when we put these on there, so you know what's entailed in it. But yeah, maybe we'll get started on that. All right, guys, I got everything apart. This time I did it without taking off the upper triple tree. I was able to get to the bolts underneath. It's not easy. You've got to have just the right angles to get them on there. And on this side, I had an issue, the right side, where once the bolt had come out, the socket was hitting a plastic clip that holds the wire harness in there. I couldn't get the socket back off of it. It took some finagling to finally get it out of there, but it's all off. So now we're going to gather our new parts to put back in. All right, guys, this is going to be the new setup. We got the Thrashin 9.5-inch pullback riser setup with the new top clamp. We've got the black Thrashin bars, and then we're going to go with the solid bushings. All right, and one of the really cool things about the solid riser kit from Thrashin is you'll see that they come in two colors in one kit. So there are 4 pieces. 2 of them are black, 2 of them are the natural aluminum. And that's so if you're not running in a cell like I am, and you can actually see your top clamp. If you're running a black setup and you don't want to see that natural there, you want it to look black, you put the black ones on top, throw the natural ones on the bottom where no one sees them, or vice versa, whichever way you want to fit the look of your bike. All right, and this is the assembly that we're going to be eliminating by using the solid bushing. So you got these 5 pieces here that will be replaced with just these 2 pieces, and it basically removes the rubber out of the equation. This is how the whole assembly would look when it's installed. Now, this thin rubber is still fairly rigid. It's not like back in the old days. For many years, Harley had these really big, thick bushings in there, and you get a lot more play out of your handlebars. These weren't too bad, but we're going to eliminate it. Now, there may be a downside to this. We may get a little bit more vibration transfer through the handlebars on rough roads or like from engine vibration. But the plus side is you're going to get a lot more positive feedback from your bars as well, because you're going to feel everything, and when you give it input, it's going to transfer directly without any squish. Does that make any sense? All right, and I am putting mine black side up. Even though my nacelle is going to cover it, doesn't matter. I'll put the naturals on the bottom side. All right, so what I did here to get them in easy is I took the bolt in the bottom bushing and turned the handlebars, fed it up through the bottom, and then just threaded the riser on top while holding the bottom. They're not tight, but we're not going to tighten them until we get the top clamp in so that everything stays nice and aligned. Picture you with the bike.
Oh, okay. Me?
Yeah.
What do I do?
Just pose. Just sit there and look pretty. All right, guys, you know, sometimes things just work out in irony. Well, I'm installing the Thrashin bars on my bike, and then this bike just rolled in to get an oil change. And of course, it's got the headlight like I have on mine, but they did the yellow lenses. But you can see over here, he's rocking the same exact Thrashin bar setup that I'm putting on my motorcycle. All right, guys, and if a 9.5-inch riser with a pullback isn't enough for you, Thrashin Supply has these 1/2-inch spacers you can put underneath there, or 1-inch spacers that you can put underneath there to give you that little extra bit just in case you're tall. Now, I'm about 6'2"-ish, and I think the 9.5 is good. I've sat on a couple other bikes that are set up with the 9.5, and I'm pretty happy with it. But worst comes to worst, I can always pull them off and add these in later on. That'll be a relatively simple job. You don't have to mess with wiring or anything. And these kits come with the new longer bolts to compensate for the extra riser. Works out perfect. All right, guys, with the bars just kind of loosely tightened up, they're not final torque, but they're snug enough to keep the bars in line and keep everything in line. I was able to go underneath and retorque the risers. So now we can go ahead and fish our wires through, which I probably should have done on the bench. Plug in our plugs, put the nacelle back in. All right, guys, instead of putting the OEM grips back on, I am going to use the Thrashin Moto grips. I like them a lot better than the OEM ones. I think it's going to work out much better for me. That was a little scary.
That's why I'm on YouTube. I'm a hazard.
All right, guys, and now that we've got everything put back on and torqued, I've kind of adjusted everything to where I want them as far as comfort-wise goes. But before we call this project complete, I've got one more thing I want to put on here, and that is from PSR, these Anthem Pro levers. I fell in love with these things when I first saw them. I talked to Charlie, the owner, out at the Drag Specialties Expo in Louisville when we went there, and he convinced me that these are the best levers on the market. What I like about them is they're adjustable and customizable, and that's two different things. Adjustability is one, customizable is really cool because these levers, you can custom tailor the color scheme to your motorcycle. All right, guys, so standard issue, they come with the black lever tips and the black adjuster. I opted for the anodized red to match the red trim on Dr. Evil. Not only these customizable to the color you want, but the adjustability is how far out from the bar you want your lever, and also the length of your lever. See on the back side, there's an adjustment screw. You can loosen that up and you can actually slide these pieces apart to get them as long or short as you want. I will likely make them short because I typically only use about 2 fingers on my clutch, 2 fingers on my brake. That way I've always got hands on the bars and have control of the motorcycle. You really don't need a fistful of brake, almost never. Most people that do that crash. And you really don't need a lot in your clutch, typically. But that way you still weight your bars when you need to while you're shifting and throttling. All right, guys, well, there we go. Levers on, fully adjustable, really, really cool. I think I'll make another video about the levers specifically because there's a lot of features in them. Fortunately, the rain has come again. We had to close the curtains. Now it's pretty much closing time, and there's nobody here. But this job is complete, and I'm super, super happy. So like I said, you can loosen this screw here, and you can slide this lever in or out to lengthen it. Right now, it's kind of perfect for a 2-finger job. You've also got this adjustment screw here, right here with it all the way in. You can see I can't even fit 2 fingers in there. Probably just a little bit more than 1 fat finger. How about a thumb? Yeah, that'll work. But then with just a click of this, just rotate it out. And there's the max. Now look at the difference there. Now I got almost 4 fingers. Well, let's say she's a 3-finger. And of course you get all those same exact adjustments on the clutch, same range. Just works out really well. You know, the adjustability isn't just great because like I've got big hands, you may have small hands, may need them closer. But also differences in seasonal riding. Let's say you've got a fairly thin pair of summer gloves and you're riding. You don't need the lever that far away, but wintertime comes and you put on a thicker pair of gloves. Now you need a little bit more clearance between your bar and that lever sometimes to fit the gloves and be comfortable. So really quick on the fly, you can make those adjustments even to compensate for just a good pair of winter gloves. All right guys, and it is my intention to carry these PSR Pro Anthem levers in stock with the options for various colors. Unfortunately, at the time that I placed the order to come here, they were on back order again. It seems like a lot of the parts I want are on back order. We've got to come up with a resolution for that. I'm working with the companies to hopefully up their production a little bit so that there's enough for me, and hopefully that'll all work. But someday we'll be able to get these guys on your bikes as well. Well, unfortunately, I've got this project done, and the weather is so crappy I can't go out and rip on it right now. It's what I really want to do. I want to feel how those bars feel, how those levers feel, but it's a sloppy mess in here. You know the roads are going to be a mess as well. So I'm going to have to wait for that gratification for another day. Anyway, because there's nothing else exciting going on, I think we're going to end this video here. I know with it being a soaking wet Saturday, it just wasn't what we were hoping for, but it is what it is. Nothing exciting happened today other than getting a chance to actually get this bar setup done on my bike, which I'm super stoked about. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Until the next time I see you, keep those engines running.